Hey, and welcome to the Megan Waldrop podcast. I'm Megan. If you're new here, pull up a chair, join our crew. And if you've been here before, I'm so happy to spend time with you again. And I wanted to say that the next several episodes are inspired by the Breathing Room Toolkit. It's a free downloadable I have. I put the link in the show notes, and it just has really great practices that can help just ground yourself, get back into your body, get out of your head, whatever you need when the day gets a little crazy, we'll say. And you can find the link in the show notes. Also wanted to have a note to everyone that who tried to download it last time. My apologies. It had a two-factor identification situation, and so those emails may have gone to your spam folder. So check your spam folder if you didn't get one. I've changed it around. We've been working on the back end, so you should get this email directly very quickly this time. So apologize for any confusion, but thank you for your interest. It's here if you need it. And if you have any questions about it, you can always email me at support@meganwaldrop.com and I'll hook you up. So today we're talking about, well, always we're talking about bring your own beliefs. It's always about BYOB. There's no wrong answer. There's no right answer. It's just, oh, this is interesting. Look what I've discovered today. What did you discover? Let's chat about it. So I'm going to set the stage a little bit. So let's just pretend that we're sitting on a back porch. It's summertime. The cicadas are going off. If you're in the South, you know that sound. It's the sound of summer, the sound of heat, the cicadas. Maybe at night, wherever you are, there's crickets or any kind of beautiful nighttime noises, little frogs in a pond. Anyway, we're hanging out. All right. We're on a porch, we're on a balcony, wherever it feels good for you. We're in a rocking chair. Maybe there's a hammock involved, candles lit. We're just chilling. Hot tea or cold tea. And we're going to talk about life and this whole concept of manifestation because I've been thinking about it for many years now of like, what does that actually mean? And how does it work? And what is, all the things that when people say manifestation, it can feel very magical because it sounds very magical because it is very magical. However, I've realizing that I don't think I was really gathering that concept into what it really truly means to manifest something, or if that's even what we need to be doing in the first place. So why I'm even talking about this is I saw an Instagram reel and it outlined different stages of spiritual awakening. And while I don't agree with every framework that I see online, this one really had me thinking. And it was talking about manifestation and creating your own reality. And the more I sat with it, the more I realized that my relationship with manifestation has changed a lot over the years. And not because stopped believing that our thoughts or our intentions don't matter, because I think they definitely do. It's just that the conversation got deeper. And so I want to explore that question today. And I wanted to get your opinion too, because this is something that we can just kind of like marinate on and see how does this fit? BYOB, bring your own beliefs. How does this work for you? So the question is, what if manifestation is less about getting something and more about becoming the person who is able to receive it? I'm going to say that one more time. What if manifestation is less about getting something and more about becoming the person who can receive it? So, when I first started exploring manifestation and growth and spirituality, manifestation seemed pretty straightforward. And you probably heard this a lot too. It's, think positive thoughts and visualize what you want and raise your vibration and focus on abundance. And of course, I feel that that is definitely powerful and there's a lot of value in that for sure. Our thoughts matter, what we're focusing on matters, and the stories that we tell ourselves actually absolutely make a difference in our day-to-day lives. But along the way, I think many of us accidentally come to believe that positive thinking is a form of control. And I know that control is a big challenge for me because I love being in control, especially when it comes down to organizing my home. Like I love everything to be in its perfect little place for me, perfect, whatever that word means. I love to have things in order. even to the point where now I'm able to detach myself more than I used to, but control the mood of the room. Like if anybody felt off, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do or juggle to make this person feel comfortable to make this event or family gathering the quote unquote perfect family gathering? Like how much effing pressure is that, Or just trying to just control. And I realize that control, and I've read this and it makes sense, is your way of trying to make yourself feel more safe, which is kind of mind-blowing when you're really like, oh, okay. Also huge ego thing to think that you can control all these things, right? So in that thought of thinking that, positive thinking is a form of control, it's like if you think the right thoughts, then life should go my way. Or if I stay positive enough, then bad things won't happen. Or if I visualize hard enough, then the universe should deliver. God in the universe should deliver. And then, of course, life continues to unfold and shows us that that's not actually how things work. People get sick, relationships end, and plans fall apart because that's just how it is. And that's okay. Unexpected things happen. It's not because we manifested those things. It's because we're human and we're here on this human experience and just going along and seeing what this whole life has to teach us, really. So then I discovered a different conversation. And it was, instead of focusing on the outcomes, it was more hearing about focusing on surrender. Okay. And so it was trust the process and detach from the outcome and let the universe or God handle the flow. And that felt like a relief. It really did. And I'm sure you've heard about this too, because trying to control everything is friggin' exhausting. And even surrender can kind of feel like its own trap sometimes too, which is kind of funny to think about it. But sometimes, and this kind of was a mind-blowing moment, sometimes what we call surrender is actually avoidance. So sometimes we're waiting for a sign, or we're waiting for clarity, or we're waiting, until we feel completely ready to do something. We're waiting for the universe to do something or God to do something while we're kind of staying exactly where we are. And I've definitely been there. But okay, so we've gone through those two areas of what's manifestation and surrender and all these things. But now it's in the stage of, how do we explore this different question? What if manifesting isn't about getting something? What if it's about becoming someone, not necessarily changing who you are or fixing yourself, but practicing being in the energy of the version of you that already trusts herself, practicing being in that person, like that person that already has everything that they could possibly want. The one that believes that she's capable, that she can follow through on things, and that treats herself with respect and grace, and also doesn't put so much dang pressure on herself. And this is what I've noticed, is that it goes from wishing for something that you don't have to already realizing that everything you have is already within you. We just have to practice feeling into that. We can't wait for the outside to happen so we can become this person. We have to, in a sense, practice becoming that person already to now bring that into this timeline that we want, like bring it into our lives. Like everything that I've learned so far is this understanding of, we already have everything that we need within us. Everything that we want. Is it a bajillion dollars? Is it, good health? Is it a relationship? Is it owning a home or having a family or whatever that is? We have the ability to do all that, generally speaking. We just have to become and feel into that person. Like, what does it actually feel like to have that? What's going to feel like when I have all the things that I want, or to have this peace that I want? What does it feel like in my body? And from my understanding in this and these practices, it's whenever you start to practice having and being that person that has everything that they want, then things start to fall in line for you. It starts to become into your timeline. It starts to collapse your timeline. So you get it maybe a little faster, which really is the whole point is like you don't need those outside objects to feel that peace inside or to feel whole. You don't need any kind of outward validation or people giving you praise to know that you're worthy of whatever you want or to have that self-worth. I'm talking to myself here as well. I'm not talking as somebody who has all the answers. This is not what this podcast is about. I'm here walking alongside you and having these cool conversations with you to have to talk about like, wow, what can we do to expand ourselves, expand our minds, our hearts, our bodies even to really just feel better overall. And like, what does feeling better mean? It could feel feeling better one year. That's just the bottom of one mountain. And then we got another mountain to climb, and that's all good. It's like the top of one mountain is the bottom of another, someone recently said. And that's the growth part. It's not like one day we're gonna be like, oh, I made it to the finish line. I'm done. So now I'm just gonna be chilling, sipping on pina coladas and sitting in a hammock. Like I know a lot of us feel like that. Even me, I have to remember that I'm not like speeding to the race line. There's not a finish line. I mean, not to be morbid, but the finish line is the end of our life. I mean, that is the end of the finish line. And so now it's just how do we make ourselves feel better as we are on this journey? We don't have to wait for a certain specific time to do that. We can do that any moment if we allow ourselves to. But also, it takes practice. If we're not used to feeling good or just allowing ourselves to feel good or even allowing ourselves to rest, to not be busy all the time or just, not feel guilty for laying down on the couch when when you just want to chill. Like these are all things that we can do to practice feeling like giving ourselves enough grace, like knowing our self-worth isn't defined by being busy. Our self-worth isn't defined by how many people like our posts or how much money is in our bank account or, the list goes on. How many clothes I have in my closet? Do I have the whatever it is for you? It's more about how do we feel that embodiment now? Like, what does it feel like? And so for me, I've realized that a lot of it is that the visualization of whatever it is that I feel that I need to be whole, which is absolutely nothing. We don't need anything to be whole. We are loved. We are supported no matter what, even when we feel like we're not. We 100% are. There's no one on this planet that isn't loved or supported in some way. But it's sometimes we need those visualizations to be like, oh, well, I want a yacht in the Bahamas. Okay, well, what's it going to feel like when you're on that yacht in the Bahamas? You want to feel good? Okay, let's practice feeling good right now. Like, let's practice that feeling. Like, let's just close my eyes and let my body feel into that. How am I going to feel whole? Okay, then memorize that feeling because that's what we can carry through, excuse me, through these practices every day when we're like, okay, manifestation. Really, it's just switching our bodies into a certain mode, switching our minds into realizing, oh, we don't really need anything outside to make us feel whole on the inside. I mean, that's really what the self-worth is all about. Also, talking to myself straight up. Yeah, it's just, I've noticed that the things I want aren't usually separate from the person that I'm becoming. It evolves. Of course, everything evolves as we grow, which is amazing. Relationships, business, opportunities, confidence, even having conversations like this, they're connected to how we show up every day. It's like once how we show up, if we're showing up as that person who it's like, well, I want to speak on a stage at Google and do breath work. I want to do a breath work technique at the Google headquarters. Okay, Megan. So what do I need to do today to make me feel like I am that person? Probably feel like I deserve to be there. Probably feel like I'm going to do more trainings and I'm going to learn more about breath work and I'm going to really practice on my sessions and my teachings so they feel really tight and I feel really confident. These are all the steps that I want to do to make me feel like I can actually show up as that person. But it's also, I mean, along the way, it's like, well, I enjoy learning about something new. So that's exciting. I can step into this way. I can also practice the confidence piece by allowing my body to feel safe enough to be like, well, what if I'm that person now that knows everything she needs to know and it's going to walk up in there and give the best friggin' session ever that I can possibly deliver the most value? Like, how can I deliver the most value? And it really does start with how can I give myself the confidence and to feel into my body enough to give that value? How can I give that value to myself first? So it's manifestation becomes less about wishing because sometimes it feels like I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to wish upon a star and hope that I get it. But it comes more about, stepping into that person. It's like, well, we don't have to wait for that. We can just play make believe. Honestly, it's like play pretend, play make believe, like step into that make believe vibe and freaking dress up as that person. That's also something I've been doing. I'm like, I still love dressing up, fashion and clothes and mixing up and, style, taking risks. Sometimes they're not all great, but I miss doing that. I never haven't really done that in a few years, I feel like. And so now I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to step into that version of myself because I like friggin' dressing up. It's just little stuff, just little things that I can do to help me feel more confident. I'm not waiting around for somebody to knock on my door or Google to be like, all right, we're ready for your breathwork session. It's like I'm gonna just step into that person now that's like, she wears what she wants. She has great style. She has great confidence. She knows a lot. She's learning a lot all the time. So she can deliver the highest value to the people that are going to be there and listening. Because that's what I want to do. What can I do that brings the most value to people? And that's why breath work is so achievable because we're doing it all the time. You're breathing over 20,000 times a day. So then you can use this automatic system in your body. This is the only automatic system in our body that we have control over. You can't stop your heart from beating. You can't stop your stomach from digesting, but you can change the way that you breathe. And that can change your entire day and your entire life. So, breath, it gives you a chance to practice who you want to be before all the other outside stuff catches up. Because then you're able to receive it too. Like, can you imagine getting everything you want right now? It might be overwhelming. Like, for some people, it might not even be something that they would be able to handle because they don't have the capacity for it. They don't have their capacity to receive. Do I deserve this? You start to have spin like that, this self-sabotage type of thing. I don't know if I'm worthy of all this. Should I feel bad that I'm getting all this? All of these questions start to arise. But if we start practicing now, like, no, yeah, I friggin' deserve this. I definitely don't feel bad about this. I am grateful for it. If we could start practicing this now, it's going to make it so much easier when it just starts pouring into our lives. And the other thing, too, I think about is we can get so focused on what we want from the outside that we lose sight of everything that we have. I mean, look around you. Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have love in your life? Whether that's family, friends, if it's a relationship, if it's a pet. Do you have shoes on your feet? Do you have food in your belly? I mean, that is a lot. Do you have your health? Are you alive right now? Are you able to breathe? Are you able to we have this conversation? Can you hear? Can you see? I mean, these are all incredible gifts. And then not only that, then we have all the bonus stuff that we have in our homes that we don't even realize. Wow, at one point I wished for all this, and now I'm keeping on wishing for more. It's like, what do we keep wishing for? Really, we really want to just feel more whole. We want to feel more at peace in our bodies. And the thing is, like, we can honestly move into that now. We can play dress up, we can play make believe and literally make believe. Like, let's talk about that for a second. Let's make ourselves believe that we are these people. Because why the F not? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why the hell not? It's way more fun that way. And believe me, there are periods of time where I feel like I do that really easily. And there are times where I definitely forget, and that's okay. Just get back on that horse and you just try again because let's just keep playing. And I also want to remind you that the growth is not a straight line. It's not straight line up, up, trending upward all the time. It's you go up and then you go down, and then you're going up and then you go down again, but you're always on an upward climb. Even when you're going down, you're always going to be higher than the other down that you were before. If that makes sense. Your valleys are always going to be higher than the valley that was before. But when you get down to those valleys, that's the way that your body is able to integrate everything that you just learned. Because if you're just like on this high all the time, you're just going to be like tweaked out. But you get these lessons, you're like, yeah, I did it. And then you're like, oh, why do I feel kind of down again? It's like, oh, because you're integrating, your body's getting used to going up to that next level. It hasn't really been there before. It's like, oh, this doesn't feel safe. My ego's starting to wig out. It's like, no, this is our way of just training ourselves that nope, just keep climbing. We're doing good. Like this is the practice. So to wrap it up, it's just, we don't have to wait for life to be calm before practicing calm. And we don't have to wait until we're confident and to practice confidence. And we don't have to wait till everything else feels certain before practicing trust. We can start now, and we can start one breath at a time. Just inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. I invite you to take those inhales. When you take that inhale through the nose, it's just slow, slow breath. That's all you need to do. So I'm going to leave you with a few questions that I'm asking myself too. First question, what am I trying to force right now? Second question, where am I waiting instead of participating? Third question, what qualities am I hoping my future will bring me? And how might I begin practicing those qualities today? I'll read them again. What am I trying to force right now? Where am I waiting instead of participating? And what qualities am I hoping my future will bring me? And how might I begin practicing those qualities now? It was a good, juicy one today, wasn't it, y'all? I swear. It's like, I'm gonna bring this up. This is one of those existential questions that I feel are just yeah, expansive. It makes you feel more, dare I say, alive, more expansive. How do I play make believe? Let's play make believe together because it doesn't have to stop when we were kids. So if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love for you to download the free Breathing Room Toolkit. It's full of simple practices. Like I mentioned before, it's going to help you create a little space. There's a body scan in there. There's a breath work practice. There's just simple things that you can do that, just kind of check in with yourself. Be like, where am I today? Because sometimes it's not about, manifesting harder or wishing harder and wanting more. It's about creating enough breathing room to hear yourself more clearly. The link is in the show notes. And I so appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week.